Good morning, one and all. Most respected Chairman, Mr. Jose Thomas, Mrs. Elizabeth Jose, Mr. Thomas Jose, Director, Ms. Maria Namat, Head of Choice Academy for Teacher Development and Choice IBE School, our dynamic principals, Ms. Rachel Ignatius, Choice School Kochi, Ms. Anisha Sen, Choice School Tiruvalla, and Ms. Reshma Mehtar, Choice School Calicut, Commander Sunil Alancheri, Chief Administrative Officer, Ms. Shalini Thomas, Vice President Admissions, Ms. Smita Prasad, HR Head, Ms. Deepthi Mohan, Head of Finance, Mr. Sumit Nath, Head Choice Media, dignitaries, special invitees, dear teachers, colleagues, and friends. On behalf of the Choice Academy for Teacher Development, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this very special gathering, a celebration of learning, leadership, and the unwavering spirit of our teaching community. Welcome to the CATD Chairman Award Ceremony 2025.
This morning, we honor the quiet revolution that happened in our classrooms, staff rooms, reflective pauses, laughter, and shared insights. We honor the dream that was seeded by a visionary, nurtured by leaders, and made real by you, a community of educators. This is your story, our story. Let us begin this beautiful day with prayer, aligning our hearts with purpose, grace, and gratitude. Let this prayer song be more than just music. Let it be a gentle reminder of why we teach, of the lives we touch, and of the faith that carries us forward. Inviting all to rise as we begin this special morning with a prayer song.
When upon life billows you are tempest tossed, when you are discouraged thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. Are you ever burdened with a load of care? Does the cross seem heavy you are called to bear? Count your blessings, many, name them one by one, and it will keep singing as the days goes by. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure and honor to welcome someone who needs no introduction at the Choice School, Ms. Maria Namat, the inspiring force behind the Choice Academy for Teacher Development. Hailing from the historic land of Jordan, Ms. Maria has brought with her not just international experience, but a warmth and wisdom that has quietly but powerfully transformed the way we look at professional growth. She has made India her second home with remarkable ease and has embraced our community with grace and authenticity. Ms. Maria is a woman of poise, calm, composed, and collected even in the most chaotic moments, a trait that many of us aspire to mirror. In her presence, there's no need to raise one's voice to be heard. Her grace speaks volumes. As the head of CATD, she has redefined what it means to lead teacher development. Her training sessions are a blend of clarity, compassion, and challenge, a space where teachers feel seen, supported, and inspired. It's no surprise that our faculty not only attend our sessions, they look forward to them and leave each one feeling a little more empowered, a little more whole. Please join me in warmly welcoming a woman of quiet strength, refined intellect, and boundless dedication, Ms. Maria Namat.
Thank you, Philip. When we were praying now, and the first blessing I thought of is being here. I am blessed to be here. Good morning, everyone. For me, I might get a little bit emotional because this is a passion. This is a calling. When I know that you feel it in the workshops that we have together and we conduct together, because for me, I share everything from the bottom of my heart. Every article I read, everything I read, I think of you. And I think of ways just to convey my experience or my learning or my share of knowledge with you all in a very simple and limited time. So I hope you do feel that I do this from the bottom of my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense joy and pride I stand here before you today as we gather to celebrate a truly remarkable journey, another year of learning, leading, and growing together through the CATD. Over the past months, across our campuses in Tiruvalla, Kochi, and Calicut, I have had the profound privilege to working alongside some of the finest educators in this room and leadership teams, people who are not just teaching subjects, but shaping lives. Each workshop, every shared moment of insight and reflection has been a step forward in building a culture of excellence in teaching and learning. And today, we are here to celebrate this journey. This gathering is not just a culmination, it's a tribute to commitment, to dedication, and to resilience, and to a beautiful vision, a celebration of the teacher who spends late evenings reworking a lesson plan to make it more engaging, of a leader who listens, mentors, and empowers, of the countless small unseen acts that together build the soul of a school. At the heart of all this lies a dream that was envisioned by someone whose presence here today adds great meaning to this celebration, our chairman, Mr. Joss Thomas, whose belief in transformative education has always placed teachers in the center, believing that when you nurture a teacher, you nurture generations. His vision is taking shape. It is his conviction that if we nurture the teachers, we are nurturing our nation. Sir, thank you. Thank you for trusting in this dream and for giving it space to take roots and bloom. Your presence with us this morning is deeply affirming. To our teachers, this moment belongs to you, and it belongs to each and every one of you, even if those who are going to win are 11 or 12, but you are all here winners. This moment is for you. The Chairman Award that we celebrate today is not just a recognition of performance, but affirmation of a passion, purpose, and presence. Each of you has inspired not just students, but your peers and leaders. In your commitment, we see the future of education. To the team behind the Academy, thank you for the care, creativity, and conviction with which you have driven this initiative. You have proven that professional development, when done with heart, can be both meaningful and transformative. As we look ahead, let us remember that every great school is built not on buildings or boards, but on the shoulder of its teachers. And when we invest in our teachers, we are investing in a future. Let us celebrate and renew our commitment to that ideal. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CATD Chairman Award Ceremony 24-25. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Maria, for that deeply moving reflection. In your words, we heard not just the story of CATD, but the soul of it. We are grateful to walk this path under your guidance. Thank you for being the heart behind the movement.
Some presences shine not through words, but through quiet strength and unwavering support. Today, we are truly honored by the presence of someone who has stood beside our chairman as a steadfast pillar of this institution's growth and vision, Ms. Elizabeth Jose, who has always been a graceful force behind the scenes, nurturing, encouraging, and believing in the power of dreams. Her presence here today is a reminder that every great journey is strengthened by silent champions who walk beside us with commitment and care. We are deeply privileged to invite Ms. Elizabeth Jose to the stage to present mementos of appreciation to our principals of Kochi, Calicut, Tiruvalla, and the Choice IB School, torchbearers who stood behind every initiative of the CATD with faith and fire. Ma'am, welcome.
First, may I invite Ms. Rachel Ignatius, Principal, The Choice School, Kochi, a leader who begins every journey with a prayer and meets every challenge with a hug. Her strength lies in her deep-rooted faith, her unshakable calm, and the warmth she shares with every member of her team. Ms. Rachel has been an unwavering supporter of CATD, ensuring that the spirit of growth and reflection finds a home in every corner of our school. Thank you, ma'am. Next, may I invite Ms. Anisha Sen, Principal, The Choice School, Tiruvalla, a dynamic educator, a motivator whose belief in empowering teachers has created an environment where excellence in teaching and learning is always evolving. Her commitment and compassion sets her apart as a leader, and her support for CATD has been marked by her openness to new ideas and steadfast encouragement of her faculty.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me now invite Ms. Reshma Mehtar, Principal, The Choice School, Calicut, a leader who brings both vision and ease to her role. Known for her constant drive to find new opportunities, Ms. Reshma ensures that her team is always striving for excellence and staying on top. Her support for CATD has both been practical and inspiring, helping create a culture where growth is expected and success is shared.
Thank you, Reshma ma'am. And now for the final recognition, a memento of appreciation for the Choice IB School Kochi. This team has played a unique dual role, not only engaging deeply with the CATD journey, but also being its very heart and hands. Ms. Maria Nemat, who leads both the IB school and the CATD, has worn both hats with extraordinary grace, guiding her teachers with purpose while shaping the CATD vision across campuses. Today, as she continues to lead this celebration, we invite two of her trusted deputies to receive this token on her behalf. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Philip Jolly, the IB Diploma Program Coordinator, and Ms. Sajita Binu, the IB Primary Years Program Coordinator. Two educators who have worked closely with Ms. Maria to ensure that learning, training, and transformation happen every single day. Let us once again extend our heartfelt gratitude and warm applause to all the 4 team leaders for their enduring support and leadership. A heartfelt thank you to Ms. Elizabeth Jose for honoring our educators, adding such warmth to this occasion. We are truly grateful for your presence and support, ma'am.
The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Behind every ripple of change are individuals who dare to step forward and say, "Let me try." As we continue to celebrate those who have shaped the journey of the Choice Academy for Teacher Development, we now honor a group of teachers who generously volunteered their time and expertise to lead sessions for their peers.
These educators stood at the front not just as teachers, but as facilitators, mentors, and catalysts for professional growth. In recognition of their commitment and contribution, Ms. Maria Nemat will now present certificates of appreciation to the following individuals.
Ms. Hannah Masood, Head of Counseling, Choice School Kochi. Ms. Tino Thomas and Ms. Nasma Hassan, Wellbeing Counselors, Choice School Kochi. Ms. Hannah will be collecting their certificates on their behalf.
Ms. Manju Mahesh, Curriculum and Mathematics Coordinator, Choice IB School, Kochi. Ms. Rija Iyer, Science and ATL Coordinator, Choice IB School. Ms. Preeta Jibu, Vice Principal, Choice School, Kochi.
Ms. Tina Alice, Personal Project Coordinator, Choice IB School, Kochi. Ms. Mariam Thomas, CAS Coordinator and Wellbeing Counselor, Choice IB School, Kochi. Ms. Akhila V, Wellbeing Counselor, Choice IB School, Kochi.
Ms. Roshni Elizabeth, Career Counselor and Economics Faculty, Choice IB School. Ms. Sobi Johnson, Wellbeing Counselor, Choice IB School, Kochi. Ms. Sangeeta S. Nair, Special Educator, Choice IB School, Kochi.
Thank you, Ms. Maria. Once again, heartfelt thank you to each of our teacher trainers. Your willingness to share, support, and lead is what makes this community truly exceptional. We are proud to celebrate you today.
Students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. John C. Maxwell. The most powerful learning is not found in textbooks. It's found in the spaces between people, in how we listen, how we respond, and how we care. To speak about this journey of emotional courage and deep connection, I now welcome back Ms. Maria to introduce us the story of socio-emotional learning and a unique book study project titled Belonging in School.
Good morning once again. While we're here to celebrate the accomplishments of the Choice Academy for Teacher Development, I'd like to take a moment to share a quieter, deeply personal journey that has been unfolding alongside this. A journey that in many ways lies at the heart of everything we do in education. Throughout my doctoral degree journey, I focused on social emotional learning, its impact on students and teachers, and the vital role of schools in shaping not just intellects, but human beings. My interest in SEL began academically, but it very quickly became a calling. The more I studied through books, research, and guidance from my mentors at Wilkes University, the more I understood that we cannot meaningfully educate without emotional connection. At my professor's suggestion, I began this journey right here with our community, starting with introductory SEL workshop, where we unpacked the core competencies: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. These are not just competencies. They are the emotional architecture of any thriving learning environment. Following this, I invited teachers from all the 3 schools to join a reading cluster. I had initially recommended 2 books, and many expressed interest. But as always, the demands of school life meant that time was a constraint. Eventually, a smaller but deeply committed group came together, and we chose to journey through one book, Belonging in School. This book and our collective reflection became more than a study. It became a mirror. We looked at what belonging feels like in a school, what it means to a child, what it means to a teacher, what happens when it's present, and what happens when it's not there. This day is also about celebrating these voices as they share with us the questions, reflections, shared yo moments, and how their collaboration has stretched their understanding of what it means to be an SEL-informed school. They are here today to share their insights, their experiences, and their hopes with you in a panel discussion that I believe will both move you and inspire you. So I invite you to listen with openness and curiosity, and perhaps to see how you too are already part of this beautiful, necessary transformation. May I now invite the team. The moderator, Ms. Trija IB Kochi, Ms. Reshma Raj, IB Kuchi, Miss Supriya, IB Kuchi, Miss Nandu, Travella, Miss Mita Menon, Kinderland Kuchi, Miss Sajida, IB Kuchi, Miss Michelle, Travella, Miss Bindu, Travella, and Miss Deepa from the Calicut School. And over to the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Maria. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to this special panel discussion. We are delighted to have all of you with us this morning, and I'm thrilled to be in the presence of these esteemed dignitaries who are our panelists today. As Ms. Maria rightly pointed out, each of them bring with them a unique perspective shaped by their experience in this field. And together, we are going to delve into a timely and powerful tool, the book, Belonging in School. Before we start our discussion on the book, let me give you a quick glimpse on the appearance of the book and about the authors who contributed towards writing it. Now, as I was going through this book, there were so many moments which I felt was resonating with what I do. Before we discuss about the book, let me tell you something. What does the feeling, sense of belonging mean? One would say it's a visceral feeling. Now, when we belong, we know. And we don't, we really know. When we are part of a larger group that values us, respects our opinions, and cares for us, we feel that we belong. And when we feel that we belong, we contribute. And we, as educators, for us, our classrooms are our world, our stage. And we are deeply committed to create environments, situations that nurture that feeling of belonging in our learners. This book, Belonging in School, organized as a playbook, divided into 11 modules. These are the different modules we'll be discussing today. They are based on recommendations that give you evidences for action. And these actions, when we as educators adopt in our daily teaching learning practices, we will be able to nurture that sense of belonging in our schools and classrooms. As I said earlier, I felt at many moments that it's already resonating with many of the practices we have in place in Choice Family. And I am looking forward to valuable insights from our panelists on what the book recommends on these different topics. That's not all. It's not just us speaking today. As we conclude, we would like to hear from you, our audience. For that, we have an activity. We have the names of all the teachers. Now, Ms. Maria had been training us to say as educators and facilitators, so I will want to use that term. Educators across the 3 schools, across the state, and we are hoping that we will hear from them, their reflections. Also, as we are discussing the modules, we have different surveys in place where you can tell us what you think about that module. So, keep your eyes and ears open, thought processes wired, and your phones ready to be a part of the survey. Let's start discussing belonging in school. The first module, Welcomed, introduces belonging as a key factor in student success. Ms. Rashmi, from your perspective, how can educators move beyond the traditional notions of inclusion to create a deeper, more meaningful sense of belonging your learners can have in your classroom?
Okay. Good morning, everyone. So, as an educator, I build belonging with intentional practices, like personal checking-ins and then getting to know about their life beyond school. That has helped to revamp my classroom practices. And now I make sure that learners' interest is incorporated in assignments. Like the small, minute, micro moments, like learning to spell a learner's name correctly, that has changed my classroom environment. So now the class is like a safe place for the learner to make mistakes, and they're not scared about making mistakes. So I would recommend every educator to move from the traditional way of welcoming by just saying good morning to more meaningful conversations with the learner and with all the stakeholders, so that we make deeper connections and then we connect to the culture that we are in and then be a torchbearer for the change. Thank you.
I agree with your perspective, Ms. Rashmi. Building on what was stated by Ms. Rashmi, in your view, Ms. Supriya, how can educators intentionally foster a sense of invitation and belonging in every student? And what challenge might they face in making this a consistent reality in the classrooms?
Hello, everyone. In my opinion, the concept of being invited transforms belonging in the classroom from a passive experience to a more active and intentional process. As educators, we must ensure that every learner in the classroom is genuinely welcomed and valued in the classroom, and not just present in the classroom. Unintentionally, we may disinvite some learners through practices such as ability grouping or inconsistent feedback. So it's extremely vital for us as educators to constantly reflect and reassess ourselves and adopt practices which through frameworks such as invitational teaching. Invitational teaching in itself is deeply rooted in trust, respect, and optimism. So it helps to promote a culture of collaboration, a healthy, strong student and teacher relationship, along with inclusivity. Grouping practices also play a key role here. So heterogeneous or a mixed grouping helps to promote peer modeling, collaboration, along with having high expectations for each and every learner. The module invited calls us to be intentional architects of belonging. See, belonging doesn't just happen like that. It's something that we must create every day, intentionally, through intentional invitations. Because as a learner, the module invited calls us to be intentional architects of belonging, and belonging doesn't just happen. It's something that we must create every day through intentional invitation. It's a constant reminder that every learner deserves to be seen, to be heard, and to be invited to contribute in the classroom. Because once we invite these learners in, we unlock their true potential and create a classroom where learning and belonging thrive together beautifully. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Connecting to the thoughts of how a learner feels invited and involved in a classroom, Ms. Bindu, how does the book recommend that we ensure that all the students are present for learning?
Thank you, Ma'am Shrija. Greetings to the esteemed audience. This book, Belonging in School, it embraces the term belonging, of the learner into the learning environment. Now for that, being present or presence of the learner is the most important or crucial aspect. The learner has to be there in the environment to imbibe the learning. Now, there can be various reasons why the child is undergoing something called chronic absenteeism. There can be bullying, there can be disciplinary actions which demotivate the child, or there can be, issues like access to the learning environment, transport issues, health issues, something as simple as uniform issues, or, sibling care, all that is practically there. So what we need to do is, first of all, this book recommends that, I think, and we all will agree to it, that, the first thing to be done is that the stakeholders, that is the parents or the caregivers, and the educators should be aligned on the same page. That is, they should have a shared responsibility to address this issue of absenteeism. No one can wash off, both of them have to be there. Then the learner, when comes back from this chronic absenteeism is generally facing a situation where, when I go into the recommendations part, the learner when comes back, it usually is asked like, why were you absent or why were you not there? And the learner becomes defensive. So that should not be the scenario. The first and most simple scenario is, recommendation is that welcome the absentee. Welcome the absentee. Make the absentee realize that he or she is being missed, and that his presence in the class or the learning environment or the school campus, adds on to the class, adds value to the class, and the teacher and the peer group, his peer group or her peer group, misses the child. That's a very important thing to foster the confidence or self-esteem which might have gone down because of this continuous absenteeism or whatever the reason has led to it. Secondly, the most important again, educator should also be a role model. That is, an educator should be present, or nothing like setting an example by yourself, right? So we all agree to that also. Then thirdly, the learner should be, having said all this, the learner should be held accountable for the missed learning, because if consequence or accountability is not there, he or she will tend to fall back on the same thing again and again. So that accountability should be there. But having said that, again, a backhand support also needs to be given to the learner, because he or she shouldn't feel that, she's falling back and he will not be able to, or she will not be able to cope up with it anymore. That's again, bringing or pushing down the child. So that's again one recommendation. And one recommendation which was very interesting, and I myself has emulated and followed in my class, which has brought in such wonderful results, is setting up small term goals. When a learner is absent, having an attitude of getting, or not attitude, is absent for 2 days a week, and this is a continuity, then set a small term goal. 4 days if you're coming, it will be acknowledged. Make sure that the child is acknowledged, and the achievement of that goal is celebrated. So, and then you can increase the time period. I have seen it happen. I've done it and I've got excellent results. Okay, I think many of us would be following it. Then lastly, the suggestion is that remove the barriers as and when is possible by building the rapport, sorting things out, like access issues, uniform is not ready. Okay, it's okay. You come in your casuals, fine. Don't take a leave. So these kind of changes can be done. Lastly, the book suggests, or the author suggests, that we should have a, start, stop, and keep attitude or approach. That is, start doing things by taking, ideas from other colleagues, practical ideas. Then stop those practices which are redundant, which actually do not bring a positive result, like, suspension, rustication. They are actually not bringing a positive change in the long haul. Thirdly, keep all those practices which have been bringing in positive. So that we can have by sharing ideas with each other. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Bindu. Kindly allow me to inform our audience that all the visuals we are using in the background, with due credits to our authors and publishers, these are taken from the book. It's a beautiful read. At this point, we would like to do a survey. You will find on the screen 2 truths and a lie. They have been taken from the book. 2 of these statements are true, 1 is false. Can you spot the lie? You have the QR code on the screen. Please scan the code with your phones and submit the option, the statement that you think is false. After discussing the next module, we will be showing you what the authors recommend and what our audience thought. Thank you. I'm sure all of you have given your options by now. All right. Reflecting on the inputs from our panel, on a learner feeling invited into the classroom, Ms. Nandini, can you elaborate how a teacher, a guide, a mentor can play a crucial role in helping a learner gain this acceptance without compromising their core values or unique personality.
Good morning, everyone. Well, we all know that school is a mini society, and as an educator, we all work to transform our children into a social being. The module acceptance tried to emphasize the child's desire to get accepted and recognized. It's not just children, we all need social acceptance, and it's part of our growth. And when it comes to children, they face, the challenges or the block when they, try hard to get accepted at various stages of their life. And the question is, as a teacher, what can we do? If we go through the module, the book itself, may it be invited, welcomed, or heard, each and every module, gives, tries to guide us or guide the students, guide the educators so that we can guide the students towards getting socially accepted. And as an educator, I do personally believe that we should be well-trained, informed, and we should have our creative ways and methods, to help the children, get that social acceptance without, losing their core values and unique personalities. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nandini. Now may we hear what the authors recommended about what was the lie in the 3 statements that we displayed earlier. The statement in red is what the authors think is a lie. Greeting the students at the door is a nice way to welcome them, but it does not impact learning. So learning within the confines of the 4 walls and beyond goes beyond this. And let's hear what our audience thought. May we have the survey results, please? Okay. So, as I said in the beginning of our discussion, we are already in the right path. Our teaching learning practices resonate with what the authors recommend. The authors said that statement 2 is wrong, and that's what 50 of our audience also think. Good going. Ms. Smita, can you tell us what exactly we need to know about a student so that the student feels that he or she is personally known by the educator?
Good morning to everyone here. To be known, for us to know every child, we should know the vitals of every child. Like it's shown in the slides, the vitals stands for values, identities, interests, temperament, around-the-clock activities, life mission and meaningful goals, and strengths. Let me elaborate on each point. They are self-explanatory, but still let's just go ahead. Values is what makes us us, or as an individual. Each child or each family has their values and core which they follow on. So values is based on each individual background. Then next is identities. What makes us us, from which race or ethnicity or which background we come from. All that follows makes us identify a child as an individual. Then interest. Every child's interest is different. Some like dancing, some like, you don't judge elephant by how it flies. So every child has its own interests. Some like dancing, some like music, some are excellent in different culinary activities, like our sir. I mean, he's multifaceted, but that's his job. But every child has its own interests on which they kind of work. Then we have a temperament. Each person has their own temperaments and how they work on. And we need to identify the temperament of each child, how to bring it into a mode where it goes along with each their peers, and go ahead with that. Then we have around-the-clock activities. Around-the-clock activities, some children perform very well in the night. We have many people saying that, why were you staying up so late? Night. We call them night owls, but that's probably the best time they kind of perform very well. They might be very lazy to wake up in the morning, like what we can address them as, but that's not the best time where they function. So we need to identify what's the best time they kind of function and address that, and how identify that the best part of the child. Then we have life missions or meaningful goals. We need to identify the purpose in each child and try to bring out the best in them. Then, of course, we have the strength. We have to identify the strength in each child, their talents, their abilities, and work on that. The authors say that working on these vitals, we'll be able to find out if the child has probably a growth mindset or a fixed mindset, and work on those mindsets, and how we will be able to improve them to bringing them to a classroom levels. And this will help us achieve their academic goals and bring them at par with everyone. That's what the authors kind of suggest.
Fantastic. I think that's a great input we have from our authors. Allow me to move forward to the next module. Ms. Sajita, can you elaborate on how we can address the broader issue of providing assistance to all the learners so they are able to participate fully and meaningfully during your teaching learning engagements?
Thank you, Ms. Rita. Good morning, everyone. This module is inspired by Lev Vygotsky's theory of the zone of proximal development. This theory states that there's a gap between what a learner can achieve independently and what they can achieve with appropriate support. So the book explains that proactive schools create a very supportive environment, operating on the understanding that we do not know the backgrounds of all our children. We don't know what they're going through. So the standard or default approach is that of support, care, and preparedness for all the learners, creating a very supportive environment physically, mentally, as well as emotionally. And the book states that when the support is in place, children will ask for help and they will also accept help. And when they take help, they'll be able to do better. And why they accept or ask for help is because they feel valued and they feel that they're not being judged. And also this empowers them to take risks, academic as well as social risks, which is very essential for their growth. Additionally, the book also recommends positive self-affirmations, which is very essential and which helps to reduce the defensiveness in children when it comes to exposure to threat. That is how children usually behave when they face a threat situation. So with positive self-affirmations, we will be able to overcome or at least reduce such things. And of course, this is all possible only if the physical, mental, and emotional environment in the school is created in a student-centered manner. And of course, as educators, we know student-centered means that we take into consideration the needs, perspectives, and the experiences of the children. Thank you.
Yes, I think here in Choice Family, we are all in agreement that student-centered learning is the core of what happens. Ms. Nandini, in the module Befriended, there's an interesting term that caught my attention, sociogram. Can you please elaborate your views on how tools like sociograms can help us educators connect with our learners and understand and foster meaningful relationships, friendships among them?
Thank you, Srija ma'am. Well, in the life of a child, friendship is something beyond social acceptance. It is a component which influences their socio-emotional well-being and their personality growth. And the chapter Befriended, if you have read, we'll all know that it beautifully emphasizes how one genuine friendship can influence a child's belongingness, and resilience. Now, let me come to the question sociogram. It's a very interesting tool. It's a psychological tool I think all the educators must be aware of. This tool basically helps each and every educator develop a visual map which shows a pattern of friendship existing in their class. And this tool helps the educator identify the star of the class as well as the person who is being isolated. So once we identify the isolated students, we can, conduct a study, understand why the child is isolated. Is he isolated in all the scenario or in a particular scenario which we conducted the study on? And thus, we can find a way to help out these isolated children to get that acceptance and develop a genuine friendship. Thank you.
Wow. It's a world away from the Instagram that we are always hearing. At this point, kindly allow me to take one more survey. So you will have a new set of 3 statements on the screen, 2 truths and lie, and one of them is false. Can you please scan the code and give your opinion? What is the lie amongst these statements? I hope that our survey submission is complete. Allow me to move forward. Going forward with the student involvement or learner's perspective in academic engagements. Ms. Michelle, we are interested in hearing what the book is recommending about how a teacher can support an underperforming student in strengthening their academic identity to enhance self-efficacy.
Good morning. Thank you for that very insightful question, ma'am. One of the key takeaways that I got from the book is the strong link between a student's self-efficacy and their academic identity. Oftentimes, students who believe in their ability to succeed are more likely to engage deeply in their academic learning process and push through various challenges with resilience. However, the underperforming students really need our help in building up that belief. As educators and facilitators, we can adopt various strategies in helping them build that belief by involving them more meaningfully and intently in their learning process. For example, we can offer them a menu of choices when it comes to their project topics or presentation formats that interest them. We can even collaborate with them in co-creating rubrics in which they are going to be assessed in. We can help them break down long-term goals into manageable tasks so they seem less overwhelming for such students. We can even work as a team to help them track the progress, reflect on setbacks if and ever they come across one. But I think most importantly, we need to normalize mistakes as part of the learning process. And we have to be very mindful in using the right language while we are trying to constructively mentor them and guide them back on track. And as JT sir constantly reminds us, I think as educators and facilitators, we also need to fiercely remind our students to start where they are, use what they have, and do what they can. Thank you.
I think what Ms. Michelle referred to is very much in alignment with what Ms. Rashmi spoke about earlier, that is normalizing mistakes in the classroom. Children should be made aware that it's okay to make mistakes and you grow from there. At this point, can we see which is the false statement in the ones we offered earlier? And the survey results also, please. So if a teacher does not feel confident in how to address a biased or harmful comment or behavior, it's better for them to avoid the situation or move past it without addressing it. It's better not say anything than to say something wrong. So it's our stage, our world. Let's handle it. Can we have the survey results, please? Moving forward, let's connect what was spoken earlier about a learner feeling involved in the classroom. Ms. Bindu George, how are we seeking out all learners' perspectives on issues that matter in a classroom?
Good morning, everyone. this book, Belonging in the School, recommends every learner should feel comfortable in expressing themselves without fear of being judged or penalized. And safe and free environment is the key to foster the true sense of belonging in the classroom. In this module, the authors discuss few approaches, practical approaches to achieve this. Let us look into a few. First one, by creating a safe and inclusive environment where every learner feels respected, valued, and feel emotionally safe to express their concerns. Next, by encouraging critical thinking by incorporating open-ended questions, real-world problems, and thus allowing the student to express themselves from various perspectives. Next, involve the students in classroom decision-making where everyone feels their voice matters. Then we can show genuine interest in understanding each individual's viewpoints by validating their thoughts attentively and without non-judgmental listening. That's very important. What caught my real attention in this module is a technique called restorative circle, which allows every learner to express themselves freely in a very standard and a respectful way. Thank you, ma'am.
Restorative circles. I think we all agree that there are quite a few approaches that we can adopt in this module. Taking a slightly different angle, let's examine what the book recommends on the emotional well-being about the student. Ms. Deepa, can you put some light on how we can love our learners deeply and unconditionally while truly recognizing, receiving, and nurturing the unique gifts, talents, and contributions they bring into our classrooms?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for the meaningful question. We love our children by building the trust unconditionally and truthfully, and by recognizing each learner's talents. We are nurturing a classroom, and there they can showcase their talents, they can communicate in a positive way, and we are building them confidence or making them aware how to react in the classroom. And this positive attitude builds a good relationship among the teacher and the students. As said in the book, this book is actually a very good tool for us, the educators. And I strongly believe students and teachers should have a good rapport among us. And non-verbal immediacy behavior, this is making sure that a supportive gestures, even a good smile on our face, and the tone in our speaking, which develops more and more confidence in the children, and they will approach us in a positive way, which is making a good rapport among the teacher and the student. As discussed in the book, the positive communication, which is making the student-teacher relationship as how to get on the place or how to grow themselves in and reach in such a position. And I wish to share an example of the framework as recommended in the book. Thank you.
That was very beautifully put. Can we have a look into the framework? As we were reading the book, we felt that these positive affirmations coming from the educator is something we can all take with us as we enter our classroom, and we are reflecting with our students when we are giving a feedback or even during our daily conversations. Dear audience, due to a technical glitch, we could not share the survey results from the previous survey, but I would I'm actually very happy to share that most of our audience had opted for option 2, where they agreed with the authors that as the book recommends, it's important for a learner to feel heard, that the educator values everything that the student is sharing. It can be right, it can be wrong. There is no judging happening in the classroom. And when the student feels that he or she is heard, he will come out with what he truly is. So thank you so much for that, dear audience. Let's now check after these beautiful positive affirmations, let's check how we can carry these ideas forward into our classrooms. Now, as we spoke about earlier, as Sir always says, we, the educators, we are the foundation of what he has put up for this community. So let's hear what our audience has to say. So as I said, we have an activity. Now, Ms. Sajita, can you please initiate it?
Hello. As a panel, we are here in agreement that all educators must create a sense of belonging in children, in their school and in their surroundings. So we would like to take your reflections. I think 3 could be a magic number. We have the names here, and I request Ms. Reja to pick, and the mic will be passed to you. You can remain in your place, and the mic will reach you.
If you can please get up when the name is called so that Mr. Vishnu can find you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. The first name is Ms. Anita Korud from Tiruvalla.
Good morning, all. This book, Belonging to School, elevates our understanding of the the educational environment. The sense of belonging is one of the most important, powerful drivers of a child's learning environment. When a student feels that they belong, they're willing to participate. They're willing to invest in their learning. In this book, I was especially struck by some key concepts like invited, welcomed, known, heard. These are all very important because they create an environment where a student feels valued and included. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anita. Let's hear from our next educator. Okay. The name we have here is Ms. Nivya Padmanabhan from Kinderland Girinagar. Edapalli, sorry, Kinderland Edapalli.
Hello, everyone. From this panel discussion, all I could think about is from a kindergarten perspective, as a kindergarten teacher. So I saw in one of the slides which was mentioned about welcoming the child at the doorstep. So that's exactly we do every day morning. We welcome each child as they enter the school. The teachers bend down to their level to give a high five and feel them important. And in terms of invitation, it's not only about the warm gestures that we share, but we ensure that every child is involved in the school program. Each and every child in the classroom is given an opportunity to perform on the big stage. No one is being left behind. And in terms of the acceptance, I would like to say this. We have this NEEP policy which talks about holistic development and classroom inclusiveness. But I can proudly say as a choice school teacher that we were ahead of time. We were following this for decades, that we have an absolutely inclusive school where every child is involved, every child is included. I don't think any child is left behind. So in terms of kindergarten setting, we have this peer buddy system where even the most introvert child in the classroom is given a group task where they sit with peer and follow instructions to complete their task. So wherein the most introvert child who cannot open up in a group setting feels comfort and solace to talk to their friend and have that one-on-one conversation with the peers. And also one of the panelists was talking about shared responsibility from the parent. And I feel that's exactly what kindergarten follows, that we have a co-parenting journey with the parent, where the parent and teachers are on the same page, so that every child is nurtured and loved for exactly who they are. Mistakes are okay, questions are accepted. So every child is included and belonged, and no one is left behind. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Navya. That is so inspirational. One more? You think 3 is a magic number? Okay. We have Ms. Mariam Thomas from IB Kochi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mariam Thomas, Wellness Counselor at IB Kochi. The panel discussion, whatever points were mentioned, I think it clearly aligns with what we counselors do. We listen to the child, we empathize, and we emotionally connect with the child so that one day or tomorrow when they walk out of the gates of Kochi school, they know that they're going to be self-efficient. They know they're going to lead a very meaningful life. So yeah, I think that's what counselors do in Kochi and Tiruvalla and Kozhikode, everywhere. Thank you.
We, the part of the Choice family. Thank you, Ms. Mariam. May I request, Sajida has taken the ball away, is any of our educators would like to share something of what you think after you heard about the book? You want to share something? Ms. Arjun, may we have the mic being given to Mr. Arjun, please? Sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. When I was watching this panel, there was a topic about the sociogram, which made me think that even though I haven't studied how to do it in a structured way, I think I try to do it informally in my class, especially the point about understanding the class dynamics and which students are grouping up together, which ones are the most the popular ones, and who is being left behind and who is not being given equal opportunities. So since I teach music in Choice IB, I have I think it's a little bit more of an easier time with this because it's very evident, when you give tasks, let's say, okay, let's, try and make a small tune for this, or let's try and practice some chords or something like that, or let's research about this genre of music. You can see how the groups are forming up. So this has been something that's on my mind, and it was very nice to see it mentioned here because that made me sort of take it a little bit more seriously. Until then, it was just a thought that, oh, I should do something. But this made me think about it more, and I think I'll maybe ask any of you for some advice on how to do that because I think it's very important. Sometimes some students they seem disinterested. So then, as a teacher, we also feel, okay, maybe I shouldn't force the student. But I think more than that, I should try to find, okay, what is the student interested in? And that way, try to connect with them personally and, maybe having some sort of a personal connection with them, which I already do. But I was just thinking of when ma'am mentioned something about giving them a high five. I was thinking that maybe when I go into class, I should give all the children, maybe some fist bumps and maybe say out their names. So this was very informative. So thank you so much for all your ideas, everyone sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arjun. Ms. Hannah wants the mic, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to reiterate something that I saw here or heard on social risks and a little bit on sociogram. So, children, there are two aspects. One, it's not easy, passing through the tween years or the teen years. You might feel lonely. So you tend to feel more comfortable when you belong to certain friendship groups. And that's when cliques tend to form. And this is when you have more propensity to fall into peer pressure, or when you listen to, you want to impress, you want to fit in. So that's a small aspect of sociogram. And a little bit on social risks. Children they take risky behavior, and there are good risks and bad risks. So when it comes to school setting, going for an audition, you don't get selected and then you go for another audition, or you try out for the sports team, or you take part in a race. So these are again risks that children take, especially when you failed the previous time and you have to pick yourself up and then try again. So we need to encourage them in taking these risks. So, as an alumna here, having taken part in extracurriculars has given me a lot of resilience in life. So I'm just telling the teachers that, let's encourage them in extracurriculars, let's work with parents and tell them to, push them, and we'll work together in encouraging them in taking part. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah. Ms. Reena wanted the mic. Can it please be passed on to her? Ms. Reena is a part of the faculty in Kochi.
Yeah, good morning. And when I was listening to the panelists today, I want to first and foremost thank JT sir for having had this OSLC department, the open school department in the school, because when I was listening to you all, I was just thinking how many of the children would have to leave choice school if this department wasn't there. And all the modules which you all touched upon today is something which we follow in the open school department. So thank you very much. It was an eye-opener to all of us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Reena ma'am. We all need that positive ovation. Ms. Reba.
Good morning, everyone. I think we didn't have to go through many authors before we read what reflected on the screen. For most of us to follow a similar vision that was laid by a visionary like Mr. Jose Thomas, I think we followed the same. That's why we are resonating with the same values that were shown on the screen. And I think, hats off to you, sir. But thank you for this beautiful session. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Reba. So as we conclude, let me thank our wonderful panelists for the insightful comments they gave us, and to our ever attentive and enthusiastically participating audience. Now this book, Belonging in School, has given us a lot to reflect upon, about inclusion, about connecting to the students, about the values that we cater to our learners, and first, above everything, making them feel that they belong in their world. So, anchored in KCH every day, let's make decisions, the small choices we make that will ensure that we are nurturing this faith in them, that they belong in Choice School. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Now, over to Mr. Philip Jolly for the next segment. May we have Ms. Maria Namat on stage to share her thoughts?
Hello again. Wasn't that amazing? Put your hands together for them, please. All right. I want to thank you from the bottom of the heart of all the late nights. I know that you've been also working throughout the summer. I know that even on rainy days with no connectivity, with no net, you were also present. You had your personal circumstances and you showed up. And I hope you enjoyed the idea of a book study. All right? And that's one of the steps that we have to do more often, especially when we want to have an informed policy in place. Now, you think I'm done with you? I'm not done with you. Because the next step that was initiated, the introductory for SEL, and then the book study, and now next, we are going to form a policy for choice school that is going to be on paper. So we will have our own SEL policy. That means it is not depending on different individuals, whoever comes and goes, this is our policy in pen and paper. All right? So what's going to happen next? I'm going to help you and work closely with you to initiate that policy. There will be steps on how to move about it. And finally, it should be approved by our chairman. And this should happen within a month from now. So by the end of next month, it should be approved by JT Sir, and it should be through the HR department shared with every single person who is here present to ensure the consistency of whatever we are doing. This is choice, and there's always room for improvement, and this is what we do. Next time, we invite you for another book cluster. I hope I'll have more people participating because that's going to be something essential for this year's Learning Academy. And especially that if you don't have much time to sit and really have these sessions, at least you can read at your pace and meet up to discuss your learning. So thank you so much for that. That was wonderful, ladies. Thank you so much.
Ms. Maria will be now honoring these extraordinary women with the certificates for their efforts that they have put in. Thank you, everyone. There are those who dream quietly. And then there are those who build their dreams into reality, stone by stone, soul by soul. He is not just the chairman of our institution. He is the beating heart behind its vision, the quiet wind beneath the wings of every child, every teacher, every dreamer who walks these halls. CATD was not born out of convenience, but it was born out of conviction. It was born out of his belief that when you invest in a teacher, you shape not just one child, but generations. A leader is not remembered for the power he holds, but for the lives he has quietly transformed. He has never needed a spotlight, and yet today, all lights turn to him. With great respect, with gratitude, and with standing ovation, it is my deepest honor to welcome the soul behind the symphony, our guiding light, our chairman, Mr. Jose Thomas. Sir, the stage was built by your dream, and it now awaits your voice.
How much can I talk? A little? This much or this much? Okay. Hey, I'm very impressed. I've seen some of you, most of you teachers at school. And when I've interacted, you used to be a bit shy, I don't know, holding back. But today I see complete change. You're better than me. Let's put our hands together for that. It's all about learning. Looks like the author of this book has met with me in New York City. And we have exchanged what I dreamt 35 years ago. I know that. A person who walked into this subject of education with no clue and no knowledge at all to begin, found the nuances on year one. I did. from teaching methodology to child behavior, parent expectations, etc. I have a request for you. Some books have said speeches are heard 20% of what you hear. It's obvious. Today, let me tell you, I'm also human like you. I listen to 80% of what was presented on the stage today. And that is the key to what a good listener gains from listening. So listen to me today. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I did not come prepared. You know, I don't prepare. I wake up in the morning, I look at the sunrise. If it's gloomy or if it's sunshine, I know I have a day to perform. A day to perform, a day to succeed, another day to correct myself. Because we all make mistakes. And I have learned, and learning never stops. So first I'll tell you the story of my struggle with omelette. I struggle with omelette. It's a book I'm going to write. By the way, I'm going to go back into writing, not about my life, but writing funny things to get people interested in reading. Because reading helps. So let me start with one chapter, struggling with my omelette. In the past 3 years, I guess, I spent tons of money traveling to different parts of the country, world, to see how a perfect omelette can be made. It may sound funny. My wife puts up with me. Every day I make an omelette. I normally don't take photographs of myself or my family, nothing I do. But I photograph my omelette. It's funny enough, and I brought my phone today. If Sumit can come, I have 100 of omelette pictures on my phone, not my children's photograph, but. Because I wanted to perfect things. During the COVID time, I don't know, some of you teachers remember, I took a class for teachers, students online, how to make an omelette. You all remember that? Yes, and that day I heard in Panamali Nagar, all shops right out of eggs. I know that, because that is a power of training. CATD was not just a plan to make money, because I realized the foundation of education is training. And I also find across the nation, teaching community things, I don't need training. It is a battle. CATD was formed about 16 years ago. For free. Someone came and said, no, don't give it free. Charge something to the teachers. I said, no. That's part of their curriculum. It never succeeded. It never went the way I wanted it. Disinterested. You had to force themselves or force them to come to the class, etc. But today I'm very happy, Rachel, for supporting this initiative. And I think Rachel deserves a very big applause for that. Maria Nemart, before I go further, you have opened our eyes. Resilience, follow-up, being difficult sometimes, negotiator, tough negotiator she is. I know it. Because of the environment she comes from. You know, she comes from Jordan, surrounded by war, every day, for decades. And we, fearful of band and strikes. Thank God that's gone now, I think. I don't hear much about it. So let me get back to my struggle for omelette. I learned a lot of things. I'll come back and forth, okay? Once I was in Japan, and I, as usual, went for breakfast. And I ordered an omelette, and that's what I eat every morning. And I found this perfect omelette. And I said, wow, I want to learn this. I have been to culinary school, but my curriculum did not cover to make an omelette because no school wants to teach you how to make an omelette. They want to teach you how to cook the best steak and the best, filet mignon and the best stuff of that. I said, no, I got to learn this because I found something attracting me towards that every day. And thus it became a habit for the last 3 to 4 years that I eat my breakfast with 2 eggs, and I make my breakfast myself 80% of the time. So this struggle of omelette went on and on and on and on. And certain days when I say, yes, I made it, I did it, I sometimes celebrate more than my business successes because being a child inside me of trying to replicate an omelette, including last week. I make it to the extent to say, I don't have a trainer. I have no one holding my hand every day. However, I have a little dream that I want to make it happen. Even last week, I was in Japan. So I went to the same restaurant or the same hotel I stayed, and I ordered the omelette. It was consistently the same, what I got 5 years ago. No change. I took a photograph and I compared it to the earlier ones I took. I said, what a perfect way of training. Training is what has helped me, dear sisters and brothers here. And learning never stops. Never. 3 weeks back, I decided to go back into flying at this age. Because I know aviation has transformed to a different level now. So I've been back to school. I started flying. When I go back this time again in July 22nd, I'm going back to full-time learning to go into instrument-rated flying, which is the most difficult thing that you can learn, because I have that inquisitiveness in me. Teachers do an amazing job, and I know it is not the most rewarding job when it comes to money. I know it. Perhaps it is the poorest paid job in the world. Everywhere is the same, by the way. I did study the US schools too. An associate who can come to an office gets $100,000 or $80,000. A teacher gets $40,000. But when you start talking to them, they say, yeah, it's an easy job. They can go home at 2 o'clock. They don't have weekends. They can be home for weekends. They get vacations. They get 70 days. No, that doesn't matter. I am a fighter for the teaching community, and I am trying my level best to see how we can help ourselves to transform and put more beneficial facts also into the hands of a teacher so that she or he can listen to these and say, wait a minute, am I really taking this to the school, to my class? How many of us do that? We are making baby steps, I know it. But I also believe that you need to make this worth the while as a profession. And that is what counts. So what do we need for that? Reputation and people to say, I want to admit my child at the choice school, Calicut or Tiruvalla or Kochi. And thus, you create revenue. You know for sure I don't need revenue. And that revenue is something that we got to invest back into teachers. Because teachers are the pillar of a child, a student, and even an adult that graduates from a school. I dream about CATD, and there's one pending dream I have, to buy a small piece of property overlooking a valley at about 5,000 feet altitude above sea level, to build this beautiful, serene place with small little theaters and library and dorms and things like that for my teachers to go on a 6-day sabbatical for training. And this is something which I'm working for. Because training needs the sabbatical situation. Training cannot be with phones around you. Training cannot be with our spouses chasing us, kids chasing us, grandparents chasing us. And that's a fact of life. We got to understand that. So I did visit Munnar twice. And I saw this property and I said, I must get this place. And I'm still working on it. I'll tell you this, God willing, if I'm able to wake up every morning and have the same energy, in less than 2 years, I'll make this happen. Trust me when I say this. To see my teachers with water bottles and oranges and apples and bananas in a bus singing and going towards this dream place of JT, and after my time, my photographs would come there. And that's my dream. I have a dream. This country needs education. Our country, I can't say the whole world. In last 10 days or so, I was in 4 countries. I don't go there to make money anymore because money doesn't drive me anymore. I'm very happy with my omelette in the morning. It's 40 cents an egg, 2 eggs, 80 cents. A little bit of oil or olive oil, or sometimes I use clarified oil, ghee. I say to myself, what more do you need? I started to wear only a white shirt, which costs probably, I don't know, in Indian rupees, 300-400 rupees. So what do? And I think the excitement of life is the key. Maria was in New York, and she was so pushy that she must meet me. And I was, of course, loved to see her. And I said, come on, Maria, come. So she came. The sequence was, you came to the office first? Yes. She came to the office. She came for a purpose. Can I openly talk? Okay, Maria, don't take offense, okay? I thought she'll come there and say, wow, what an office. She didn't say anything. I said, oh, wow, she's a typical Jordanian arrogant woman. No, she didn't get that excited. In fact, we have the best office, I think, in Manhattan and the New York neighborhood. I'm telling you. Then I brought her to my beautiful so-called house. All she said is, sir, I need to sit down with you and talk. And we need to discuss. We need to discuss about CATD. We need to discuss about IB. Not IB building, by the way. Thank God she didn't bring it up. She wants discussion. So my wife kept saying, oh, we must take her to New York City. You should drive it yourself. And you should impress her with your Lamborghini. I said, yeah, we'll do it. I started to have that suspicion growing in me. That's not going to work. I did. I said, Maria, would you like to see New York City? She said, yeah. I said, okay, let's go. So I took my beautiful car out of the garage to impress her. She didn't even ask me what car it is. Only one goal. I need your time. Give me your time. I'm here not to play around. And I drove her to New York City. I came out the Holland Tunnel. And I asked, Maria, this is New York City. Yeah, it is New York City. But when are we meeting, sir? That is a drive which is called the focused drive. The focus in a class. I'm focused to teach. I'm focused to take these practices back to my classroom. And then you dream. And then you see what mistakes you made. I make mistakes every day. 7 years ago when I went to the culinary school in New York, I remember it was sometimes spicy. And I come from Kerala, I come from Cochin. Even though I've traveled, we all make mistakes. My teacher, she's a Caribbean woman who was my head chef. She one day said, Mr. Thomas, can I come on the side? You sneeze, but make sure that you hold your hand and sneeze. That did not hit my ego. And I said, wow. Unknowingly, I did it. Could be But she taught me how to sneeze. Ever since then, I follow that. My wife sometimes corrects me of not keeping the meat cut or not, cross-contaminating the vegetable knife with the meat knife. I listen. And that is a trainer. A trainer can be anybody. You don't have to be a Harvard or a Columbia product to be a trainer. A trainer is there in us. But you need to have that vision and dream to accomplish. Today, I must tell you, Sunny sir, for example, I'm sure he's feeling very proud today because he has been selected to lead the Indian university team to Germany for the basketball. So we should put our hands together for him. That is an accomplishment. And he wrote to Thomas saying that, would you give me the permission to participate in this? Thomas called me and said, Dad, I know what he's asking. I said, fly him now. That is the answer, I said. You don't need my approval to excel. You don't need my approval to go to the next step, to the next level. You got to continue to dream. And the next one I want to talk about today is under the leadership of Rachel. The results that this year the school produced was unbelievable, historical, and the best, and none to beat. Teachers, salute to all of you. A big salute to all of you. I don't feel obligated. I feel contented. Obligation is different. But when I say, I feel it in my heart, the rhythm of my heart beating to say, you did it. And that is something which I like, and I cherish that. Dream, dream, dream. Every day I'm dreaming. And the best part is, God is holding my hand. I pray every day. However busy I am. Even this morning, before coming here, I called Ariana, my granddaughter, my best friend, by the way. My best friend is Ariana. I said, Ariana, let's pray. So we sat together. We said the Psalm 91 first. Then we prayed together for a few minutes, and I said, Ariana, all you have to do is keep your values intact. And that is something which I've always practiced. Simplicity, and also your drive towards achievements. Because only your achievements will be remembered after you're gone. You need a better picture than this. Huh? I'll go for a photo shoot. Priya, please help me in New York and take a nice one. But no suit and tie. I want to be remembered. The students should remember their teachers. They should come and invite you for their wedding and their grandchildren's wedding before they even talk to me. The teacher is the center of their life, which I've always spoken about. And they are the ones. But you need to trigger that feeling, that grit in you to say, I have something coming in my mind, and I'm going to work towards it, and I'm going to do it differently tomorrow. I've been in this business of various frozen food and seafood. There are hundreds of seafood exporters in this country who have come and gone and who still exist. And I know most of them, they think in a fashion with as if they're through a conical mind. Yeah, I'm happy with what I have. I don't care about the women folks. I don't care about the benevolence of workers. They call them workers. They call them labor. They call them this. They call them all sorts of stuff what the British taught us. When I had this little dream bird speak to me one fine morning, we have a beautiful factory in Cochin, by the way. Nothing wrong with that. A bird sang to me and I said, wake up. You need to help a village somewhere go find employment, go find people there. I started to think I didn't have all that confidence in my mind at that time to make a huge investment. And I knew my school will suffer because last 18 months, my presence at the school has been seriously diminished because of this project I undertook. I started to dream. A factory? Yeah. A school? A classroom? 4 walls, door, teacher standing, smart board, fan. I said, what is a factory? I said, I must do something to build lifestyle, lives of people. So what do I do for that? Reclassify labor first. Don't call them labor. How do you greet and meet them in the morning every day? How do you address them? So I said, we'll call them associates. Without teachers, there's no school. Without you, there's no JT. I understand that. It is not my power and my height and my width is what is keeping Choice School going. It is you. Similarly, I realized, and I do realize, but I went to the next level to say, I need to empower women. They need to increase or improvise their lifestyle. So I go to this village, Bapatla. I did a survey. And I find 6 to 7 villages there where the women folks were denied their rights. The women folks who were subjected to serious domestic violence and so on and so forth. Life is not a perfect one for anybody. I know that. There could be domestic violence here in Kerala, in Cochin. Today you saw they identified 140 locations where child labor is happening in Cochin. Okay? So I went there and I saw this and I said, this is the place. So I started to build. Build on it every day, a dream, and I started to forget Choice School. It's a confession. Because it grew and grew financially, and I said, this is going beyond my limit, but however, I'm going to fight it. You all have heard, where is JT in Bapatla? I lost 2 tan being in that sun. I used to be more fairer, I think, no? Not anymore. That sun kills me. But I wanted to accomplish and build the perfect plant, the perfect place, the perfect lifestyle, and the excellent facilities for my women folks who dedicated and decided to work with Choice. And that is something which I did. Be a dreamer. Become a dreamer. Win your child. Win your class. Become the hero, irrespective of what your return is. I'm bleeding, perhaps. $40 million I put in Bapatla. Returns, I don't know when it's going to come. But I know for sure I did it my way. That is something you all need to accomplish. Dream, execute. Nothing in between. Dream your child and execute your dream. And that dream will transform their lives. Live the life. Live a life to create lives. Better lives. And that is a teacher. God bless the Choice School and all the teachers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for those words. Every time you speak, we are reminded not just of the journey you've made, but the heart you've carried through it. Even today, behind the visionary entrepreneur and educationist we all look up to, We still see that fearless young boy, the one who dared to drop out of school, sail across oceans to Japan, and carve his own place in the world. Perhaps it's because he still carries that same wide-eyed wonder, that same fire, that same restless energy, that he's able to dream boldly and lead with imagination. And that is what inspires all of us to keep moving forward, to keep believing, and to keep building something extraordinary together. Thank you, sir, for reminding us that age doesn't define ambition and that the best leaders never stop looking at the world with curiosity, courage, and hope. Let's give him one more huge round of applause.
There are some who rise quietly, consistently, with integrity and inspiration, transforming not just what they do, but who they are in the process. The Chairman's Award for Excellence is given in recognition of such individuals, those who carry the torch forward with dignity and determination. It is a celebration of dedication, growth, and the quiet strength of educators who consistently go above and beyond. Let me take a moment to walk you through the thoughtful and transparent selection process that led us here today.
The criteria for the Chairman's Award were shared with all in November 2024. Based on these benchmarks, principals of our 3 campuses submitted their nominations for consideration. Each nomination was then cross-verified with CATD records, ensuring that the nominees had completed a minimum of 20 hours of teacher training, not just attendance, but true participation and contribution. We also collaborated with Smita and the HR team, whose valuable inputs helped us ensure that both professional commitment and institutional values were reflected in our choices.
From this rigorous process, the team arrived at a list of 11 extraordinary finalists, each of whom embodies the spirit of a lifelong learning and community leadership. And now, I invite our chairman, Mr. Jose Thomas, and Ms. Maria to join us on stage as we present this honor. As I call out each name and a short citation, may we all take a moment to acknowledge not just the award, but the journey behind it. Let me also invite Mr. Jonathan James, our head of music, to grace this occasion with a musical note that truly echoes the spirit of celebration.
Our first awardee is a quiet force of transformation, someone who carries the weight of leadership with humility and heart. In the corridors of the senior section, she is both compass and anchor. She leads not with volume, but with vision, not with control, but with care. Whether it's mentoring a first-year teacher or refining systems for academic excellence, she's always there, steady, strategic, and sincere. Her commitment to growth is unwavering. She has walked into every training session not just as a participant, but as a practitioner, absorbing, reflecting, and translating theory into meaningful action. She's a mentor, a role model, and a cornerstone of her team's strength. The first Chairman Award today is awarded to Ms. Shailaja B. Nair from Choice School, Kochi.
Awardee is someone whose classroom is more than a space of instruction. It is a space of inspiration. He is a teacher who carries not just subject knowledge, but wisdom, the kind that connects concepts to real life and learning to lasting impact. He is respected deeply by students for his clarity, by parents for his consistency, and by colleagues for his quiet strength and unwavering commitment. A true learner at heart, he absorbs the finest of pedagogical insights and transforms them into powerful teaching practices. With every session he's attended, he has not only grown, he has given back. His lessons are dynamic, his approach intentional, and his influence undeniable. The Chairman's Award goes to Mr. Jolly George from Choice School, Kochi.
Our next winner is a radiant presence in the primary wing, a true force of creativity, care, and quiet excellence. She's the kind of educator who doesn't just complete a task, she elevates it. Whether it's academic planning or even scripting, she brings fresh ideas, flawless execution, and an eye for every detail. Her classroom is a space where numbers come alive, where math feels like a subject and more like a story. With patience and clarity, she helps young minds believe they can. As a coordinator, she leads with empathy and vision. As a communicator, she listens deeply and responds with warmth. As a learner, she remains hungry, humble, and always growing. The next Chairman Award goes to Ms. Jaina Mary from Choice School, Kochi.
Our next awardee is someone whose classroom is a sanctuary of care and challenge, where every child feels seen, supported, and stretched to reach their fullest potential. She is not just a teacher, she is a guide, a listener, and a quiet architect of transformation. Her lesson plans are thoughtful, her instructions intentional, and her impact immeasurable. With students, she builds trust. With parents, she builds bridges. With colleagues, she builds community. She brings to school not just professionalism, but purpose. Not just knowledge, but heart. She is a collaborator, a contributor, and an eternal learner, always evolving, always giving. Her presence is a gift to the institution, and her efforts a legacy in motion. The Chairman's Award goes to Ms. Neetu Susan Johns from Choice School, Kochi.
Our next winner is a teacher who brings quiet magic into every classroom she walks into. Her lessons are crafted with care, structured yet flexible, thoughtful yet spontaneous, always tuned to the unique needs of her students. Her classrooms hum with energy, respect, and joy for learning. She makes every child feel not just seen, but significant. What makes her truly stand out is her eagerness to evolve. She takes every training seriously, reflects deeply, and brings that learning straight back into her practice. Her classroom today is a vibrant result of her commitment to growth. She's not only respected by her students, but equally admired by parents and loved by her peers. The next Chairman Award winner is Ms. Shaggy from Choice School, Kochi.
Our next awardee brings both heart and hardware into the world of education. In a realm where circuits meet creativity and coding meets compassion, she stands as a beacon of excellence. As our co-curricular coordinator, she has gone above and beyond, bringing structure, spark, and spirit into every initiative she touches. She is a teacher who doesn't just teach computers, she opens windows to the new world. Her classroom is a space where curiosity is celebrated and challenges are embraced with joy. She brings to the table a rare blend: technical expertise, fearless adaptability, and a vibrant, bubbly personality that lights up every corridor. Loved by students, trusted by parents, valued deeply by her colleagues, she is the kind of educator every school dreams of having. The Chairman's Award goes to Miss Liji Shahjahan from Choice School, Tiruvalla.
The next winner of this award is a symbol of quiet strength, unwavering dedication, and graceful discipline. She walks the halls with purpose, always on time, always prepared, setting the tone for excellence not just through words, but through daily action. In her classrooms, learning isn't rushed, it's respected. Every minute is meaningful with lesson intentional. Her students thrive under her care, not just because of what she teaches, but how she teaches, with kindness, clarity, and deep-rooted integrity. She is loved for her warmth, admired for her efficiency, and respected for the unshakable values she brings into every space she enters. For her profound impact, her relentless commitment, and the dignity she brings to her role each day, the Chairman Award goes to Ms. Rachel Roy from Choice School, Tiruvalla.
Our next winner is the definition of precision and professionalism. In a world of shifting deadlines and complex responsibilities, she is that one person you can count on every single time. She works quietly but with unwavering clarity. Every document she prepares, every academic plan she crafts is a reflection of her sharp eye and structured mind. She is a pillar of reliability, seamlessly balancing academic, administrative, and CBSE engagements while still being a true team player. She leads not by instruction but by example. And those who work with her know if she is on it, it will be done, and done right. The Chairman's Award goes to Ms. Sabita K. from Choice School, Calicut.
Our next educator is a rare blend of grace, grit, and grounded brilliance. She doesn't wait to be asked, she steps forward. She doesn't stop at good enough, she goes all the way, ensuring that every task she touches is done not just well, but beautifully. She is dedicated to craft, dependable beyond measure, and open to growth. Always ready to learn, always quick to adapt. With an unwavering focus and an eye for detail, she brings both structure and spirit into her work. Her calm presence brings clarity, her work ethic, admiration. When she is on your team, you know things will move and move in the right direction. The Chairman Award goes to Ms. Soumya Somanath from Choice School, Calicut.
Next, we honor a remarkable educator, one whose journey has been marked by quiet strength, tireless dedication, and a heart that beats for her students. She is the kind of teacher every child remembers, not just for the lessons she taught, but for how she made them feel safe, seen, inspired. With every creative classroom activity, every thoughtful newsletter, and every lovingly curated portfolio, she weaves joy into learning and trust into every interaction. Her classroom isn't just a space for academic growth, it's a sanctuary for children to thrive. She knows her students inside and out, celebrates their strength, gently guides them through struggles, and always stands beside them with that calm, reassuring smile. Parents adore her, colleagues look up to her, and her work in the school's authorization process only proves her strength as a quiet yet powerful leader. She has captured the hearts of her students and the admiration of an entire school community. The Chairman's Award goes to Miss Supriya Satyanathan from Choice IB School, Kochi.
Our final recognition today as an educator extraordinary goes to someone whose presence is felt beyond the classroom walls. She's a teacher with heart that listens deeply, a mind that plants thoughtfully, and a spirit that uplifts everyone around her. Her empathy isn't performative, it's instinctive. She meets every child with care, respect, and the kind of attention that makes them feel that they matter because to her they truly do. To her students, she is more than a teacher. She is a confidant, a guide, and often a second mother. She walks with them not just through concepts and assignments, but through life quietly, patiently, and wholeheartedly. In her department, she has worked quite wonders. Through creativity and commitment, she has led her students from fearing math to falling in love with it, transforming hesitation into confidence, confusion into clarity. As a curriculum coordinator, she doesn't just plan lessons, she builds ladders of learning that every child can climb. Her work in the school's authorization process stands again as a testament to her deep commitment to excellence. She is, without a doubt, a teacher who teaches from the soul. The Chairman Award goes to, you know who, Ms. Manju Mahesh, Choice IB School, Kochi.
And with that, we come to a close of this very special chapter of celebration, a tribute to the educators who don't just teach but transform. To each of our Chairman's Award winners, your commitment, your courage, your creativity inspires us all. You remind us that excellence isn't a moment, but a mindset, a way of showing up every single day with intention, with integrity, with heart. Congratulations once again. This stage, this applause, this moment, it's all yours. And now, with deepest respect and gratitude, we thank the visionary behind this celebration, our chairman, Mr. Jose Thomas, for reminding us that when you invest in teachers, you invest in the future. Sir, thank you for seeing the spark in each of us and giving us the space to shine. Let's give one more round of applause for our winners, for our leader, and for the incredible journey that lies ahead.
At the Choice School, we believe that a strong, well-informed team forms the backbone of any successful institution. It is this belief that drives us to ensure every member of our family is empowered, guided, and well supported. Today marks the formal release of a document that will serve as a key reference guide for all our staff. To introduce the important document, its purpose, values, and how it will guide us in our day-to-day roles, I'm delighted to welcome a person who has been driving force behind this initiative, a leader with clarity, dedication, and a deep commitment to building a transparent and supportive work culture. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Smita Prasad, the HR head of the Choice Foundation, to address the gathering and speak about this initiative.
Good morning to all of you, dear JD sir, respected principals, Ms. Maria, vice principals, teachers from Kochi, Tiruvalla, and Kozhikode. First, I want to congratulate all the winners of Chairman Award. You all deserve it. I am here to give you a quick introduction about the employee handbook that we are releasing today to the academic team. The idea behind this was to guide you on the policies and procedures of the organization, which we have been doing meticulously for the past few years during the HR induction for new joinees. So as an employee, this handbook will be your reference document with regard to the standing instructions and procedures you need to be aware of and follow while in service. We are sure that the content of this employee handbook will help you to be more aware of the system and act thoughtfully. Inviting JT sir to be on stage to present the first copy of the employee handbook to the senior-most teachers from our 4 school divisions, requesting the following teachers to come up on stage and receive the book from JT sir. Choice School Kochi, Mrs. Leena Taliyat. Leena ma'am is the senior-most teacher from Choice School Kochi, joined in 1992. Thank you, Leena ma'am. And from Choice School Tiruvalla, Mrs. Jia Kuruvilla. Jia ma'am. Choice School Kozhikode, Sumati Anil Kumar. Sumati ma'am, kindergarten leader. And Choice School IB, Sajida Binu Benjamin. Thank you, teachers, and thank you, JT sir. A special mention to the people who supported us in collating the data for this. Ms. Sheena Sam, Vice Principal, Middle School, for sharing the guidelines to teachers. And Rachel ma'am for your valuable contributions and suggestions during this preparation. And thank you, JT sir, for your valuable presence and support. Also would like to thank Ms. Maria and team for your support on this. Requesting teachers to return the acknowledgement page given in that book duly signed to HR. You all can collect your copies from the JT Pack foyer. HR team is waiting for you. Thank you once again to all gathered here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smita, for this wonderful initiative.
Just when you think the morning has given you all its light, comes a moment that surprises you with warmth, harmony, and joy. As we prepare to close the celebration, we offer you one final gift. Not a speech, not a citation, but a song. Because some feelings can't be expressed in words alone. They must be sung. So sit back, smile, let the music carry you home.
You shouted out, but I can't hear a word you said. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm criticized, but all your bullets ricochet. You cut me down, but I get up. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. Far away, far away. Ricochet, you take your aim. Far away, far away. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Stone hearts, machine guns, firing at the ones who run. Stone hearts, love bulletproof glass. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I'm titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I'm titanium. I am titanium. I am titanium. Thank you.
Let's go. Done. One more song. One more song? Okay, Mridul sir, just keep the track ready. We want to call upon, that was Sosin from the Western Music team, and we have Tansin also joining us. Mr. Tansin, can you join us on stage? This will be our last song because the day continues. And thank you everyone for a beautifully afternoon, morning, Maria and team, and everybody here. It's been a pleasure.
Find a way, journey. Journey मेरे मन ये बता दे तू किस और चला है तू क्या पाया नहीं तूने क्या ढूंढ रहा है तू जो है अनकही जो है अनसुनी वो बात क्या है पता मितवा कहे धड़कने तुझसे क्या मितवा ये खुद से तो ना हो चुका मेरे मन ये बता दे तू किस और चला है तू क्या पाया नहीं तूने क्या ढूंढ रहा है तू जो है अनकही जो है अनसुनी वो बात क्या है पता मितवा कहे धड़कने तुझसे तुझसे क्या मितवा ये खुद से तो ना हो छुपा गम पनी निजाने गम पद దని నిదా తప పదమా గమ పని నిజా నిజ నిజ గమ పద దని నిదా నిద నిద ని పద 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 గమ దని నిద ని పమ మితవా जीवन डगर में प्रेम नगर में जीवन डगर में प्रेम नगर में आया नजर में जब से कोई है तू सोचता है तू पूछता है जिसकी कमी थी क्या ये वही है आए वही है आए वही है तू एक प्यासा और ये नदी है काहे नहीं इसे कुछ खुल के बताए जो है कहीं जो है सुनी वो बात क्या है बता मितवा कहे धड़कने तुझसे क्या मितवा ये खुद से तो ना हो तेरी निगाहें पाग ही राहें तू ये सोचे जाऊं न जाऊं ये जिंदगी जो है नाचती तो क्यों बेड़ियों में है तेरे पाऊ प्रीत की धुल पर नाचने पागल उड़ता घर है उड़ने तो आंचल काहे कोई अपने को ऐसे तरसाए जो है कहीं जो है सुनी वो बात क्या है पता कहे धड़कने तुझसे क्या मितवा ये खुद से तो ना हो छुपा मेरे मन ये बता दे तू किस और चला है तू क्या पाया नहीं तूने क्या ढूंढ रहा है तू चाहिए ही मितवा मितवा
Thank you, Tansen. That was Sosin and Tansen. And this is me, Jonathan. I don't want to be the last one having the last word. So this was Maria and CATD's Day, a beautiful event organized and great to see. Can I have Sir JD Sir, Maria ma'am, and Rachel ma'am on stage just for 1 second? Unscripted.
Jonathan, for that beautiful cherry on the top. Great things are never done by one person, they're done by a team of people. As we draw this meaningful celebration to a close, let us take a moment to honor not just the moments that unfolded on stage, but all the hearts and hands that made it possible.
To our visionary chairman, Mr. Jose Thomas, thank you for dreaming boldly, for reminding us that investing in teachers is investing in the soul of a school. To our principals, who made time and space for growth in the busiest of days and stood as pillars behind every initiative or CATD. To our teachers, whose hearts stayed open to learning, even while they were busy shaping young minds. To our musical maestros, who made this morning all the more sweeter. To Miss Maria, the guiding star of this journey. Thank you for being the light in the corridor of every teacher's path, for believing, building, and beautifully leading.
And to the quiet heroes behind the scenes, our admin team, for beautifully setting details with grace. To Mr. Sumit Nath and the Brilliant Choice Media team, who turned every learning moment into a lasting memory. To our chef and the cafe team for the warmth served on plate, and to the support staff who moved silently yet purposefully, ensuring everything ran like a clockwork. Together, you have created a celebration that was not just seamless but soulful. The fire has been lit, and today it burns brighter than ever. Let this be not the end but a beginning. Thank you, and may the road ahead be paved with passion, presence, and purpose.